Thank you very much for meeting you on these contact classes. My name is Lucas Kahare, as you have seen on our documents. So I'm going to take you with the course educational research. So as we know, in education, teachers need to know about education, about, research, okay, to research on a lot of problems that we need to solve in education in nowadays, and also to familiarize and improve the education system. Therefore, one must have to know about research, and this is very much important. So, as you see on the screen, this is my name, presentation by Mr. Kahare Lucas, your tutor, and that is my email where you are able to contact me, and that is the cell phone number. So for this course, I welcome you that you will enjoy it, and any question later you might ask me, contact me phone or email. So let's start with our lesson for today. We are going just to talk interesting topics that we are going to discuss. We are going to talk about the importance of educational research and the types of educational research. And also we are going to look at the definitions of educational research. So what is educational research all about? Then we're going to talk about the characteristic, how it is, the formality, how should it look like, the educational research, and the function of educational research, how it works, and limitations of educational research. This is about, for example, which parts or which objectives or which area is educational research limited to, is not able to. Okay, those are just about, this is 6 topics that we are going to look at it. And each topic has sub-lessons. So the importance of educational research. For example, why is educational research is important? Why? Why should we study educational research as part of your course as professional teachers? So we discuss this educational research, or it's important because it helps educators understand educational process, make professional decisions. So what is this educational process? For example, you will be able to know about the process of education, even in our country. So the process of educations, what, for example, rules in educations. And also, it makes you able to conclude on professional reason. You can make a research on that. And also provide information to policy groups to assist them with mandated change in education. Okay? There are a lot of policy makers in education, which means as you are teachers, you'll be able to graduate with knowledge in educational research. So in this case, you'll be able to go to the policy makers in the system to advise them or to help them what areas should focus on or what new things has come into education. And it also saves the information needs of concerned public, professional and private private organizations. So this is also very much important because there are some private organizations or public. So this educational research, for example, after you have published maybe your topic, let's say that maybe what causes absenteeism in the rural areas. So you'll be able to research on and then publish the outcome. So the publics will be able to view it and read it. And also some prefect organizations. That's what it means now. Review and interpret accumulated empirical evidence. Okay? So this is about, it will provide evidence about the fact of education. And also, because educational research also include in the field of research projects. So which means, for example, like you now as an educator, teachers. So for you to have that research, your research, which means you will be included in the research projects. Okay, after making this research, you will be also included in the research projects. Research projects. That's why it's important. So let's go to a second topic about types of research. So educational research, or let me say types of methods that you are able to use in educational research. So we are going to focus in this quantitative research, qualitative research, mixed research, which is quantitative and qualitative, and then analytic, which is meta-analysis. So we'll look at each of this one. Okay, we look at each of this one, what is it, and how you are able to carry it in educational research, to use it. Quantitative research. So what is quantitative research? This type of research is a method requires quantifiable data involving numerical and statistical explanations. Quantitative research is used to quantify the problem by way of generating numerical data or data that can be transformed into usable statistics. Or it is used to quantify attitudes, opinions, behaviors, and other defined variables and generalize results from a larger sample of populations. So what I'm talking about this quantitative research methodology in education system. So, for example, this is about, we talk about using numbers, okay? We talk about the research which you are able to use numbers. For example, using an Excel. Let me say, maybe you go at school, you want to find out the dropout of students, of learners in particular region. For example, what is the dropout in the first semester, the number of dropout of learners in the second semester, the number of dropout in third semester. So, and also maybe you can categorize that number into female and male learners. So now this one, you want to represent this information. For example, you find out that, okay, so in commerce region maybe, the number of dropout in the first semester for 2015 is, let me say, 100 learners. So among them, you might say that maybe 6 females and 40 males. And also, and so on, you come to the second semester. And so that information now, you have to analyze it, to put it into a statistic, okay, into groups. And then use Excel, the computer. For example, you might be able to show the graph, okay, the difference, let me say in this case, so it's there, the number of learners, for example, is first semester, second semester, and then 30 semester, okay? So like this. And then here is the number of students drop out. For example, here's, you might sell male, okay? Male, female. Okay, you might say, for example, in the first semester, these are male, and also another graph goes to female. And also in the second semester, this represent male, and also maybe this might represent female. Okay, and also in the second semester, I mean in the third semester, maybe this is male, and the other one female. Okay, so it might be yes, male, and this might be like female. So now you categorize it: male, female, male, female is database, okay, and so on, female. So that's how now, for example, let me say, starting from 20, 40, 60, then 100. Okay? So from there, it can be, for example, 80. Yes. So, okay. Okay. So, yes. Okay? So you can categorize it. For example, here's, let's say, male. Okay? So this is just for you to analyze, okay? To analyze the data. I mean, this is about quantitative methods. You take the data, you put it in a spreadsheet or Excel, and then put them into graphs, okay? Let's say this is male, and this is female. Female, let's make it some slope there. Okay. This is number of dropout. Number of dropout. Okay. So this is semesters. Okay, in semester 1, for example, this is approximately, for example, let me say maybe it's about. So in semester 1, the male drop out approximately 20, and female approximately 40. So this is just an example. Okay. Commerce region drop out. Okay. Okay, school dropout, probably. So this is how now, for example, this is about quantitative methods. So you get the information, then you put them into numbers, and then you represent them using for example, a spreadsheet. This is why I'm talking about quantitative use to quantify the problem by way of generating numerical data or data that can be transformed into usable statistics. Okay, you get the information, then that information convert it into a usable statistics. So what is now, again, is it is used to quantify attitudes, opinions, behaviors, and other defined variables and generalize results from a larger sample populations. Okay? So this is now that is a quantitative. Let's go look at now a qualitative. Qualitative. So it is used to gain understanding of underlying reasons, opinions, and motivations of information. It provides insight into the problem or helps to develop ideas or hypotheses for potential quantitative research. And also, it provides deeply into the research setting to obtain in-depth understanding about the way things are, why they are like that, and how participants perceive them. And also the need to create a sustained, in-depth context study that allows the researchers to uncover subtle, less overt personal understanding. So now, let's say this one, for example, you don't need to maybe, this is not about like a quantitative. For example, this one's just you want maybe to know, let me say, about, let's say, the relationship between learners and teachers at school or in certain region. So which means you develop now hypothesis, which means the information. So, but you know, you want to find out maybe the cause and why it's like that. Okay? You want also to let the people understand why is the cause or how it can be solved. So this is just a research. For example, you can just write, okay? Write on a paper or a letter of paper, this is the cause and also, but not necessarily to put them, for example, into statistics. Okay, this is what we call a qualitative research, qualitative methodology or research method of researching. Okay. Mixed method. So this mixed method, simply I just put the regression analysis. For example, this is, for example, correlation. This is about using statistics. But anyhow, what is now here is that this method is about consists of quantitative and qualitative. Simple as it. Mixed method of research methodology. This is the method where you have to include quantitative and qualitative methods, where you have to use papers like, okay, qualitative, this is the reason what, and also you have to use numerical data, presentations. Okay, after having the reason and how to solve it and why it's causing like that, from there now you have to take it into numbers to represent it into graphs using Excel. That is now mixed method. Okay, this research method involves determining the strength of relationship between two or more variables. Okay? For example, why is like this and why not? Okay? Should be two. That is mixed variable. And also let's go to analytic meta-analysis. Okay? So in this research, in this method of analytic, it's about just research that involves critical thinking skills and the evaluation of facts and information relative to the research being conducted. Okay? This research method is useful for finding out the average impacts of several different studies or hypotheses. So this is about analyze. For example, in the exam, or yes, you will be asked to name some research methods that you should use in your research projects, okay, or in your thesis. In that case, or we talked about we talked about mixed research, which is quantitative and also analytic, and quantitative and then qualitative, and then the other one mixed, which is that one, and also analytic. So these are probably four we should or we must know so far methods of research in education. And also we should use, for example, this analytic method. So this is about now, as you are a researcher, which means you have to think critically and you have the skills on how to get the information or the data correctly. Okay? And also, you should know, like, you know, to analyze. Okay? This is also part of, for example, this meta-analysis is one of the methods which we use in quantitative, which means you analyze using the technology like spreadsheet to analyze the informations. Okay? To analyze the informations using the spreadsheet. So, and also this research method is useful for finding out the average impacts of several different studies on hypotheses. Okay? And also let's now, we have looked So we have looked so far the importance of research, the types of educational research or the method that we should use in our research, quantitative using number, qualitative using papers, for example, giving reasons, and mixed methods. This is probably all about using quantitative and then qualitative, then also meta-analysis, okay? So now we have to, students should understand the definition of research, okay? Definition of research. What is research? And what is the aim of research, okay? So we can define research as a systematic process of collecting and analyzing data for some purposes. And also research is also a research method or methodology are the ways data are collected and analyzed. So this is about, it's a system. Research is about a system. So you have to go out there, get the information, analyze information, okay, for some purposes. For example, you want to find out what caused the high failure rate in Namibia. For example, the Great 10. For example, why is the commerce region has a higher number of Great 10 failures? Okay, that is the research you want to take, isn't it? The research, which means you have to go out there. Maybe you go to schools, to directors, to inspectors, to teachers, visit schools, to find out, that is to collect the information. And also you might ask them, for example, to give you the end result and compare also number of subjects. So that is a research. So get those information, analyze them. For example, so in this case, maybe you might use qualitative, or it might be theoretical, why it's so, okay? You write, or maybe the reason why is that how we have higher grade 10 failure rate in commerce region or the grade 12, okay? So you give your reasons by asking, interviewing or questionnaire, okay, using those methodologies or those methods. And also research, the definition is one of the, for example, the way how to collect and data then to be analyzed. Definition of research is continuous. So there is one of academic in the US university called B.Ed-ER2. His understanding about research. What is a research, for example? So he's saying that research is not merely information gathering. For example, going to the library to read books and from there summarize. Or maybe, a research is also arguing that a research is not about collecting what other academics or educators has written, and then you summarize this. So that is not research. As we say that the main things research is about collecting information, okay, data, and analyze them and find the solutions. That is what we call about research. Okay? Not about going to the library and reading information from there or what other people has written. That is not really research. So he finalized that the essence of research is the interpretation of data, information that you have collected. Find a solution to that. And why is no solution cannot be found in that topic. So that's about a research. Okay? So characteristic of research. Okay? Let's find about the characteristic of research. So for example, when you talk about research, they should carry some characteristic that shows that this is a research. What is now? A research need to have what? objective, okay? Which means procedures or reasonable interpretation following from data collection, and then you have to analyze it, okay? Research would also have what? Quality data, controlling for biases of accounting for subjectivity, okay? That is about a research, okay? Let me just go and want something. Okay. Function of research, okay? So let us go back. Just characteristic of research. Research should be what? Objectivity, which should have an objective, the main. Should also have precise converse. Okay, should have what? Verifications. Should what? Should parsimonious explanations. Should have what? Should have empiricisms. It should have logical reasoning. Okay? So those are, so let's just look at one by one of each. Let's look at one by one at each. Objectivity or objective, which means procedurally, reasonable interpretation following from data collection and then analysis. Characteristically, which means quality of data, controlling for bias or accounting for subjectivity. So which means a research should have an objective or the procedure that you need to follow. And also should be, the data collected should be what? Should be controlled for bias, okay? You know, all about bias, and also accounting for subjectivity. And also precision conveys, okay? Precision conveys. This should have exactly meaning through technical languages. So, which means if you have a topic to discuss on, so that your research should have precise information, which means a technical language, a professional language that should relate or carry the image of that research, and also should describe study accurately so result may be used correctly, which means that if you, for example, carry out the study about the education system in Namibia, okay? So which means that the information that you need to supply should be accurate and also should have what? Results. And also what? Verifications. Which means allow data to be confirmed or revised in subsequent research. Which means after collecting about the, for example, your research is about study the education system in Namibia. So after collecting those data, which means you have to verify or to find out that this data or this information are correct, okay, or for your research. So that is one of the characteristics, verifications. And also parsimonious explanation, which means reduce complex reality to simple explanation, which means you know that the information that you will collect is huge, complex, which means you have reduce it, you analyze it, make it simple for other people to understand, okay? Parsimonious explanations, okay? So you don't need to carry all those, reduce those informations into simpler form of your research. Characteristic, empiricisms. So this is a guidance by evidence obtained from systematic research method rather than opinions or authorities, okay? This is a guide by the information, so you should have a guidance for the information obtained rather than opinion or authorities. So which means this information should just be opinions, okay? But you should have obtained systematic research, okay? A research that will characterize that should be correlated to the topic you are researching on. Logical reasoning, which means your research should have what? Should have logic, okay? Should have the reasoning, which means a general statement of specific conclusions, which means you should have, in another way, the way on how to reason, the way on how to find the informations. So let's go now to the function of research. We are going to talk about for example, we talk about basic, applied, evaluation, and action of research. Okay? So let's now finish about just this. We are going to talk about, for example, in your research, you are more focused. You focus on basic research, applied research, evaluation research, and action research. So basic research is simply about pure fundamental research to know and explain the through testing theory which provide basic generalization. Then theory predict and explain the natural phenomena and develop and so on. And also you go apply it. This to apply and develop research-based knowledge about common practice in the field. Okay? These are what? Applied research. So which means you do research, after that, then that research should be what? Applied in the field. Okay? Practically. For example, you have to do research. For example, we want the method to improve learners' performance in school. So you carry on that research and you find the solutions. Then that research should apply and should work that the learner should perform in school. Okay? And also evaluation research, which means this is about just maybe you want to evaluate, for example, let's say which region is performing good in Namibia. Okay, you have to go on and find also the number of pass rate in Commerce region, the number of pass rate in Kavango or Caprivi or Zambezi region or Omaheke region. That is to evaluate. You are doing that research to evaluate. Okay, evaluation. And also action research. This is to work local level to make change. For example, this research being, for example, you can use it, for example, for the principals or the inspectors. They might use, they can go to their circuits, okay, where they work at their local level to evaluate, in this, like an action, okay, to find out, like for them to engage teachers, teams, or school districts in finding solution to common issue. This, for example, this research being used by like inspectors or directors, okay, or even principals. This is about action research. And also legal and ethical concern, okay. Limitation of research, we have limits in educational research. Sometimes legal and ethical research, there's something, for example, or ethics, for example, with tribes, for example, in Namibia that does not involve in education, or which race. So they will limit, for example, we cannot, so you have to make sure that you should not be, for example, touch some information that might make the public uncomfortable. That is also the limits. So you cannot, for example, publish everything. Okay? Some of the information not necessary. That is the limit. Public institution, legislative reform, curriculum, standards, and so on. And also program variability. Also one of the limits. Like there is a wide variety of existing programs, okay, in educations. So that also might be the limit. And also the diversity, population change, difference in culture, religions, academic preparation, and ties to the homeland. Okay? That is, and the complexity of research problems. Also, some research should have complex, okay, in that. And also methodological difficulties. Which methods are you going to use? And also the thinking of human and solving problems. Okay? So I thank you for your attention. And my name is, as your tutor, Kahare Lucas. So this is most of the information. This is just the source of information about our lesson for today. So I thank you very much. We discussed in this one about the importance of educational research, and we talked about the type of research, and we explained each type of research. And also, we talked about we talk also about the characteristic of research, how your research should be, or should look like, or what information it should be carrying. And also we talk about the limitations of research, what educational research limited to. Okay, so those are the lessons for today. I thank you for your attention. So any question, you might send it to my email or either contact me to my number. I thank you.